Doomsday 3.
We're in Doomsday 1.
No question in my mind.
He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix. Most of his friends,
You got people on the TV talking about it. You better get your ass to the ball. You better get to the ball.
I just got to say, when it comes to Dallas Cowboys, well,
That's different.
For sure, and they would have thrown it off because
This guy gets off you, motherfucker.
And then I go to bed every night like, G, man, I promise you that we got a special. What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here. Got Jimmy Dee. We getting this thing rolling. We have a scheduled release show on Wednesday, but you know the NFL, they just can't wait. And especially when it comes to the Cowboys, they want to go ahead and release a little inside information to get your boys hyped up and get ready for that ass beating that's going to be in Cleveland. Well, I'm already in mid-season form. I'm ready to get this shit rolling. But before we get it, Jimmy, how was your weekend? Make sure you guys are coming in, like, subscribe, share. But Jimmy, you had a rough weekend. I know your Knicks. I know the Rangers. I saw people trolling you, making fun of you. Like it. I came to your defense. I think I did. I don't know.
No, you did. Now, first of all, Mr. Strutter, Vince, Camel Piper, Greg, thanks for joining in tonight. Now, you see, now I was at Camel Piper's house, our favorite 49ers fan, one of my best friends. We were over there Saturday night watching the game, all happy. And things didn't go our way, but, you know, the Chianti and the Anazette helped. So, you know what? Guess what? Tonight, we're playing in just about 20 minutes or so. I got the game right here, so I'll catch the first period here in the cave. Yesterday for the Knicks, a complete disaster. We'll get to that soon because I'm not going to make excuses, but I'm going to make excuses. But you know what? It wasn't all that bad of a weekend. Like I said, I had a great time with Camel Piper and the families on Saturday. Yesterday, with my lovely wife and babies, we had a nice Mother's Day. And the cool part, we got to see like this, you know, the Northern Lights.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
It's never seen it.
We didn't, where we were at, we couldn't see it. At least see it good. But I'll say something funny for Camo Piper. I've been chatting up a little bit with a former 49er, you know, friend of the show. He's a Cowboy really, but he did play with the Niners. Kevin Gogan, we talked about maybe him coming back in the cave a little bit. We're sharing some stories. That dude's funny. He's funny as hell. So definitely going to get him back in here. But for the 49er fans, I'm putting a couple people to work because I'm going to be out of town. But bar none, I'm not even going to say nothing else, but bar none is going to be in Clearwater. So I got people that are going to hunt him down and going to talk to him about coming into the cave. But if Camel Piper's a real fan, I don't need to say no more than bar none. He knows who I'm talking about. But I'm looking forward to maybe getting a 49er in here and talk a little bit about that rivalry back in the 80s. So it's or in the 90s, I should say, with him. So it's going to be a lot lot of fun.
No, it sounds like it. Camel Piper is a real fan that we know, and he'll chime back in
if he gives the answer in the chat. Then I will say he's a real fan. But I'm waiting.
We got the thumbs up. We got Kareem Wheat joining in. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks. What's up, Kareem Wheat?
What's up, man?
Now, you know what? I tell you one thing that happened yesterday. In the midst, now you talk about a kick in the nuts, right? So the Knicks are getting rolled yesterday, and Ultra, to your point, injuries. Yes, that's going to be one of my excuses. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm sitting there and we're losing by 25, 30 points late in the third quarter. And you know, my youngest son, Dominic, who some of you remember was.
Yes, he's the one who started the show. He got a little too big for us. He decided to get dates girls. That usually is the end of it. So
that's right. So he learned about girls and he, you know, brushed us to the side. But
who wants to hang out with a couple of has-beens and never will
be? So he goes downstairs, down to the basement because he's trying to. He's bringing up something for dinner, and all of a sudden he starts yelling up the stairs, "Dad, come down here now!" It was almost like a wrestling promo, like he's calling me out. I'm like, "What? Come down here now!" So I'm like, Jesus. I come down. and you hear inside the wall like a hiss, like how about I open the panel, and the pipe that brings the water into the house somehow sprung a leak.
Oh no.
Probably the size of you took a nail and
Yeah.
just knocked and hit it once or twice with a hammer, firing like a friggin' kind of like Deshaun Watson over at the massage place, he's
Yeah.
firing off like that nonstop. Oh God, so I got to turn the water off now. Place is soaking wet. We have to dry it up. I got no water till this morning, so I had to jump in the pool to take a shower today.
A nice shower there. We've
Great
done that.
shower. But we'll see what the damages are. But that was the kick in the nuts during the Knicks game.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. Now, I mean, I remember that 1-for-17 game with John Starks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes.
But no, I watched some basketball. I did not know what I was watching. I didn't know what I was
handle
Sunday with the Knicks and the Pacers. My God, what an ass beating. I know you took a lot of hits on social media, but I mean, what is going on with that?
No, okay, so let's start out by saying, remember, we were up in the series a quick 2-0. They all been close games, right? So it's a good matchup, and the Pacers, highest scoring team in the NBA all season, and we're up 2-0. But what happens? We were already out Julius Randle, and he was out for weeks before the playoffs. That's not an issue. Still say we had Mitchell Robinson. I said he'd take care of Miles. He was. Everything was going fine. He gets hurt. So we lose another big man, right? Okay, we still got OG. OG gets hurt. So now we're down to, we have really Precious playing. I mean, he's not exact. I mean, he's a big guy, but he's not exactly Mitchell Robinson or OG. So we were down two big guys. That ain't going to work against the Pacers. Bogdanovich, one of our 3-point shooters, he's been out the last 2 games. Dante DiVincenzo, my main paisano, he didn't play well yesterday. It was just between injuries, bad play. Brunson is obviously hurting a little bit. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Make no mistake about it, Mike. He's hurt. And so that's where we're at. And if we don't get some guys back tomorrow, we're in trouble.
Yeah, no, hopefully they get it figured out. But there you go. He's a real fan. William Floyd, bar none. He was actually, he was very integral in that game in '94. He was a badass fullback. He was back when you had some tough fullbacks, not no more. But he went to Florida State, so he's going to be hanging around the Tampa Bay area. So I got some good stalkers that are going to be surveying the land, making sure we get something going to try and get him in the cave. But talking about this game, switch a little gears to football. The schedule is coming out Wednesday. We will be live on Wednesday night. Might have a couple guests popping in. We're probably going to open up the phone lines or open up the show to have some people in, get some thoughts on the game. But opening night, or opening day, I should say, prime time, game of the week. You got the Browns, the Cowboys at the Browns. Tom Brady making his professional broadcasting debut for this game. So it's going to be big time. That's why they got the Cowboys there. Now, I don't know about the Browns. I mean, to me, this is, you might as well just, chalk this up to a W. They're tailor-made for us. They're going to get hurt. They got no offense. So it's going to be a good time in Dallas. And, it's going to be a good victory.
What's up, Chris? Ultra saying 0-1. I have to disagree with that. Mike Tag's spot on.
He's Ultra's got to be Ultra, man. That's the way it is. But hey, the way his predictions go, I like it, because his predictions are usually wrong. So that means we're going to be 1-0.
So it's like reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology. I like it. Maybe he's doing that. Maybe Ultra's thinking, you know what? I'm going to play this game a little bit and see what happens. What's up, Chris? Dallas fan, Miami Hurricanes fan, Boston Celtics fan. Man, he's got a little bit of everything. I like it.
Yes.
Touching all corners of the country. I love the Canes. Celtics, my Heat. I don't know about all
They're
that.
up 2-1 in that series right now.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a Celtics Knicks.
That would not suck. So look at SoCal. We end up Brady's career. We're going to start this new one. Now Falcon. Imagine thinking Watson is going to beat that Dallas defense, and he's right. I mean, Deshaun Watson. I said it a couple years ago that he's overrated, and that was a big one.
How'd you say, Jimmy? A has been.
That's right. I think he was a never was.
Never was. I mean, talk about stealing money. Talk about stealing money.
Oh yeah, all the way to the bank. Look at this, Jerry. Jerry will buy out the massage powers and make sure Watson is frustrated and plays like shit.
Well, don't say
Pardon
that
my
about
French.
Tom Brady, because Tom Brady gets offended if you make any massage parlor jokes. He got offended on that roast when they what's his name, the king of roast, Ross. Said something about him. So we'll see what happens. But the other thing, and I wanted to get your take on this because I had this conversation with someone on Twitter, and they were talking about rivalries and the first week of the season. Not a big fan of divisional games the first week. I'm not either. I never considered the Giants a divisional rival. So, I mean, when we usually play them, that's kind of like having a bye week. But I don't mind this Browns Cowboys. It's not a conference game. It's not a divisional game. So I think it's actually pretty smart of the NFL to do that because you're kind of feeling the stuff out. But on the flip side, you've got them opening up the season. I mean, do you think this is too much? I mean, you're opening up the season. This is a huge game. You think a snooze fest? You think this is going to be a snooze fest? It's a big game.
It's a big game, but
this could be home field advantage. This could be tiebreaker. You got a lot going into the first game of the season, but they're starting it off with a bang. I mean,
yeah, maybe it's because I'm more of an NFC guy. I don't know, but I mean, I'll be watching. I'm not excited about it, but I'll be watching. And to your point about not having division games,
the Browns, we're dangerous. You understand that? We're dangerous.
Hey, Mark, every team, and Mark, first of all, appreciate the super chat. Every team in our division has improved except us. What do you think about that, Mike?
Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I mean, you're banking on, and again, let's just I want to be fair. And Jimmy always makes sure if I say something out of line, he's the first one to say, Mike, hey, you're getting a little homer there. But Washington, are they better than Dallas today? I got to say no. They got a rookie at quarterback. No. They didn't. I mean, they picked up our cast-offs. I mean, it's not like they picked up all pros. They picked up our role players, and they picked up. So pump the brakes on Washington. Now, if Jaden Daniels ends up being C.J. Stroud, yeah, probably, maybe we got a little trouble coming. The Giants, let's talk about them. The Giants have Daniel Jones at quarterback. They lost Barkley.
No running game.
What do they have that scares you? Is there anything on that team that scares you? Am I wrong?
No, you're correct. No, okay. I agree with you.
Now we go to the Eagles. The Eagles I put in the power rankings. Jimmy disagreed with me, but I put the Eagles ahead of Dallas by a razor-thin margin because I thought the Eagles did a little bit more in the offseason. They were a little bit more aggressive, obviously, than we were, so I give them the edge for at least making the attempt. And so I just think the Eagles are the only team that I would potentially put above Dallas. But Washington and the Giants have not closed the gap at all.
Well, and I SoCal says the Eagles and that's it. But again, I think the Cowboys are better than the Eagles. And yeah, again, they made moves in the offseason. They always do. But I don't believe in Jalen Hurts as an upper echelon quarterback. And you got Saquon. That's great. He's got a running game, but they lost a running back.
Yeah,
so,
see how many games he plays.
Right.
You gotta see what happens. And hey, we'll get into the game when the time comes. But yeah, I mean, we'll see who our left tackle is. That is something that they're going to have to keep an eye on. Now, I gotta think these Cowboy coaches aren't that stupid, and they're not gonna leave a rookie left tackle or any of our left. I don't care if it's not a rookie left tackle. They're not gonna leave Garrett all by himself to feast on anybody. So that's why you got the tight end. Ultra, if you're standing by your word, your Schoonmaker's the man, a great blocking tight end, then that's why you got him. So I think they obviously going to have to scheme. Browns got a formidable defense, make no mistake about it, but I just don't think they're going to be enough for us. I think we win the game, and that's it.
Hey, SoCal, I'm going to be down here for the first period and the first intermission. I got the game on right here, so I'm watching everything. I appreciate the concern. I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Bugsy, what's up, boys? And what do we got?
Yeah, you're talking about week 2,
Ultra-
we don't know. Week 2, we don't know what the game is. When the schedule comes out, that's when we got to kind of look it up. Like I said, I'm only allotted X amount of games. So I gotta figure out, I gotta use my games wisely. So if they come back playing, the Giants week 2, chances are I won't be at that game. It just really depends on who they're playing.
Falcon and SoCal both brought up about getting Deshaun Watson, not letting him get any hand pleasure, if you will, when he's down in Dallas. But in my opinion, women weaken legs. So let him get all he wants. Let him get all he wants.
I say, let him crash. Not many people know that.
Counterpoint. If anybody in the chat knows what we're talking about, hit us up.
They get a free prize. If you can name that where we got that from, I will send you a cowboy piece of memorabilia if you could say, if you know where that's from. But
you got to do it within 20 seconds. I don't want you googling this. That,
yeah, I know they're gonna end up. Yeah, they got to do it quickly. But no, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. Man, I just love. I don't know about you, Jimmy. When the schedule comes out, it's like Christmas Day, right? You know like Christmas. You made your Christmas list. You know what Santa Claus is gonna get you because you asked for it. But it really isn't true until you open up the presents. So now we know who we're playing. Now it's time to figure out where we're playing them. Is it going to be a Sunday night, Monday night? What's going to happen? So I'm excited. I cannot wait till the schedule release day is one of my favorite parts of the offseason, to be honest with you.
It is like open your prize. That's what we're going to be doing on Wednesday night, and we get to see.
But how crazy is it, Jimmy, when we were growing up, football schedule, do you remember? It just used to be at the back of the newspaper.
Yes.
You get out the schedule, all of a sudden, hey, here's a schedule comes out. There was nothing on Sports Center about it. There was nothing even talked about it. It was just an afterthought. All right, here's the schedule.
Yeah, and it's funny, somebody, you go down these rabbit holes when you're on, social media, whatever. I saw a box score from like football back in like 1990. Yeah. And we got our asses kicked that game. Chris Miller was quarterback, and whatever it was just cool because that's all you had. You didn't have all these stats and everything was broken down in a micro way and all this. It's crazy how different it is. And they make it, and they get us, to turn on the TV and watch it like we do.
Like we're going to do. We're going to spend 2 hours. And the thing of it is they give the schedule like they're leaking it out now. And then as you get thrown to the day, they're going to have there'll be a few more games. I'm sure they'll do the Sunday night game is going to get released soon. Then a Monday night. Then the international games are usually, going to get released. So it's going to be interesting. But, who do you think the Falcons? I mean, do you have any for you? I mean, is there anyone you want to open up with, or do you care? Or
no, I'd like to do it first. Let's get the Falcon. I was thinking the movie The Replacements. Actually, we'll tell you it's from the movie Airplane. You got to pull up on the airplane, and this guy. So everybody knows it's out in the news. The plane's having issues, and there's this show called Counterpoint, right? Old guys sitting there, Shayna. They bought the tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. I can't do it justice. Pull up Airplane Counterpoint.
I mean, well, you remember vague. Now that's not like a big movie line. That's a vague. Yeah, I mean, when you can have like a vague line like that stick in your head for 30 years, it's impactful, right? It's impactful.
It is. It's a very important part of my life. And the best is, don't you feel proud when your kids bust out with those obscure lines?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Falcons win a division. No, you know what? I'd love to. If it's me, I'd love to open up against the Saints. I enjoy a good division.
Now that was my question. I got sidetracked. So, are you good? Would you rather play division rivals like right off the gate, or interconference games are like this game against? I mean, all seriousness, kidding aside, like if Dallas were to lose this game, which I don't think they will, but let's say they lose, it really doesn't hurt. Because it's an interconference game. It's not a big deal. Where you take like the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Yes.
That's important. Now you're saying open up with the Saints. If you open up the Saints, the jitters, the rust, or whatever can happen. The Saints steal one from you. That's a big swing.
Yeah, but you know what? I can't go in worried about we got jitters, we got this, that, and the other thing. I want to go out, worrying about how much we're going to kick their ass by, right?
Yeah.
And then that's what I like. I really enjoy opening up against, especially the Saints, because that's probably I'm a bitter rival in that division, always has been. So that's why I like to open up against. Or it could go the other route. Carolina, they're horrible. We should kick their ass all over that field.
No, that'd be like a bye week.
That would be another bye week, exactly.
Season for another week. That'd be like you get your 4th or 5th preseason game.
That's right. So Falcon, Airplane 2. Yeah, it was a horrible sequel.
No, it was a terrible sequel, but there was certain movie lines in there, like the courtroom scene, right? The courtroom scene.
That's right.
Bro was on.
Didn't trip with the folks with flea kitten, man. And the pie was laid in the bone home. So brother hammered out and jammed. Slap that down on the runway like a mother. Golly.
I mean, there's some good lines. I mean, what about who was the one in the bed singing the song? Remember?
It was Ethel Merman. You'll be swell. You'll be great. Gotta have the whole world on a plate. Right? Then the best is when they come, put the ejection. Everything's running up wrong.
There's some parts in that movie that are good.
Okay, good point. Severe shell shock. Thinks he's Ethel Merman.
Oh man!
I'm so surprised you didn't pop out the jive talk. I beat you to it. 9-8 wins the NFC South. Yeah. 9 wins will win that. I think we get 10. F the Aints.
I think we get more. I mean, who's your out of? You're playing the NFC East, which the Eagles and Cowboys. That'll be a couple tough games for you, obviously. Who's your AFC? Who are you playing in the AFC? What division?
We got? I got that.
You're playing the West, Denver. You're playing.
You know what? Son of a bitch.
Are you playing the South, the Colts, the?
Guys, hit me up. Who we playing? I had it down. So I'm always looking.
We play the Steelers division. So you're either playing the East or you're playing the South or the West, obviously.
All right, Bugsy. What week do we want the Falcons game, Jimmy and Mike? And you know what? To his point, do we want it on Monday? I'm not a big fan of.
I don't think it'll be a Monday game. They usually do Dallas and Washington, or Dallas, and they usually do a rival game on Monday. I think it's going to be a Sunday game. Could be a Sunday night. I mean, depending on. I mean, if they're high on the Falcons, a Sunday night Dallas at Atlanta, that would be preferable. I always like night games because it just travels easier and everything like that. But we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't mind it in like November. A little cooler out, it's always nice tailgating.
It is the only thing that scares me is those flex games later in the season. You make plans.
They'll never flex. I'll tell you this right now. They don't flex. They ain't flexing Cowboys unless they move it to a Sunday night game. That's a Sunday game. But the ratings are too good for Cowboys. And I agree with Ultra. I think it's Texans Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I was actually telling my son because he wants to go. He wanted to see the Texans and. He said, "Oh, we're not going to be able to go Thanksgiving, but I'm going to be able to go to Thanksgiving because my daughter's actually going to be cheering at the Macy's Day Parade. So Lori's going to be up there.
She'll be here up in New York?
Yeah, they're cheering there.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good. Yeah. Good to know. Okay, so we got the East, NFC East, and we got the Chargers, Seahawks, Pittsburgh, Chargers, Seahawks. And
so you're playing the AFC.
We got the AFC West. Yeah. Yep.
So you got the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You got the Chargers. I mean, that's not.
We got Denver. That's a bye week for us, the Denver Broncos. We all know that.
Yeah, I don't. So I'd be shocked if I think the Ravens Cowboys is set up for a Sunday night game at AT&T. I think that's going to be Sunday night at AT&T. I think the Ravens. I think the Texans, especially got young CJ Stroud. They're going to be high on the Texans. It's typically. Dallas played NFC last year. They usually flip-flop it. So it's going to be an AFC. So you really got Texans. You've got the Ravens. You got the Bengals. as your option. So I the Bengals maybe, but I think the Texans. I think they're going to be high on the Texans going into this season. I think they're getting a lot of prime games with CJ Stroud and that team. And I just that the little rivalry, whatever you want to call it in Texas, I think it makes for a good storyline.
Yeah, but you know what? I think here's my opinion. That might be too regional. I know the Cowboys travel well. There's a lot of fans, a lot of people around the country, but the Texans aren't quite the same. And I know you got Stroud. I'm thinking it's the Bengals. Right. I think you get Dallas and Houston.
The other one. The Bengals would be the other one because you got the play with obviously Burrow. I mean, there's definitely going to be there'll be a lot of eyeballs with that one too. I think they're high on. I think the NFL is high on the Texans, so I think you're going to throw them a lot of prime games.
They aren't, rightfully so, but it's where, and in fairness, because we don't care, we're not AFC fans except for the game against the Cowboys. I'm sure. I like the CJ Stroud story last year. I mean, that was a home run, so I'm rooting for him.
Yeah,
I like him, but let's see if he's got the sophomore.
I don't like him, but I'm going to play ball with him.
You know why? Let's see if he's got the sophomore jinx though, which I hope he.
No, that's where you got to watch. I don't know. Not to change the subject. This is what happens, guys. When we hang out on a Monday, it's like sports is kind of there's not a ton. So we get off into tangents. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do, hit that subscribe, like, and share. But I will say one other thing. I was watching A&E last night, and they had the Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, the rival thing, and just such good times. The promos and the everything. It was God. What a great rivalry that was in wrestling.
I recorded it. I ended up because last week we were talking about the Sensational Sherry. I watched that one yesterday on the Dark Side of the Ring, and to your point, it's so sad. So many of these stories, and she, the whole thing, how she left her kid to pursue her dreams, but then she ended up, in substances and all that. And you never know. Like when we saw them on TV, you never knew. There was no internet back then that we can gossip and stuff. And
but you thought all the rest of them was real. I mean,
well, it is. See,
Ultra doesn't think it's real.
Ultra, no, he's talking about high school and collegiate. That's the fake wrestling. We're talking professional.
And I love this. I don't know who nobody is. I mean, and I don't care. I mean, I don't mind some criticism, so it's good. The first round reach. Let's go back in time. And I've done this a million times, so I'm not going to bother, but I'll say it one more time. Travis Frederick, first round reach. Should have been a third round pick. Grade on him by some experts. So maybe nobody is, maybe he's a scout that we don't know. Tyler Smith was laughed at. Oh, why would they draft him? That was a reach. So I'll just let the season play out. I'll let a couple years play out. I will let all that play out before I start labeling guys. Because the only thing I know is nobody is in our chat. He ain't on no scout team. So you know about as much about as I do. So your opinion is about as valid as mine. And I say it's a good one. So now we'll just see what happens. So we'll and I'm just joking, but you know what I mean. Who knows, right, Jimmy? I mean, who the hell knows who any of these guys are going to pan out in the NFL? That's why you see a Kevin Gogan, a 7th round draft pick, have a Pro Bowl and All Pro career. That's why you saw Nate Newton, 8th round or undrafted, have a career. That's why you saw Tuane have an undrafted, was drafted as a defensive tackle, goes on to win 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys as a starting left tackle. So you don't know. I mean, well, let's just wait and see what happens.
And SoCal is there. He's having some beers, watching hockey, but more importantly, he's watching us. And like Mike Tag said earlier, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you're not on YouTube, again, you're missing half of the comedy and half of the entertainment in the YouTube chat, a lot of which we can't post on the banner. So make sure you're on
program.
That's right. Mike Tag is a family man. He's an upstanding citizen of the community, and we need to have a nice PG, maybe PG.
And let me tell you, and I love this because nobody. You're the first guy that I ever talked to that loved Travis Frederick at first round in 31. And you're also the first guy that I've talked to that loved Tyler Smith where they drafted him. So it's real easy to love it when it's over. right? It's real easy to love it when it's over. Now, nobody, if you can mark the tape and send it to me after the draft where you loved Travis Frederick, because I didn't even know who the hell he is. I consider myself a pretty big fan of football. I didn't know who Travis Frederick was when they drafted him. I had to go look it up, and I was as amazed as everybody else that they took a center in the first round. So I'm just saying, and I obviously I say it kidding. People bash Micah Parsons being drafted in the first round. So, like I said, you don't know what the hell any of these guys are going to do.
You know what, guys? You don't know now, but you will when it's over.
Yeah.
Believe me, you will when it's over.
Yeah.
Hindsight is beautiful. Falcon's right.
No, it is.
It is.
Maybe nobody did. I don't want to. I'm just joking around, having some fun. But I don't know anyone who liked. I don't know anyone who liked that. What did that?
So SoCal says if you don't have a Tom Landry frame behind you, he's going to break up with you.
All right. Well, here we go. I'll take it one step further, Jimmy D. I have two pieces back here that are very important to me in my life. Two pieces of memorabilia. This is Tom Landry. I got others. This is Tom Landry sent me this when I was a little punk kid. I wrote him a letter. Where are we at?
There you go.
See that, Jimmy?
Oh, it's very nice.
Good Mike, best wishes, Tom Landry. Frito-Lay. See that Frito-Lay?
Yeah.
The Frito-Lay picture. My other prize piece that I have is Muhammad Ali to Mike from Muhammad Ali, and this was dated August 1st. I can't see so good. 1989. Muhammad Ali.
Man, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So hopefully,
why did the Frito-Lay one?
Hopefully, we're good to go.
Hey, wait a minute. Is this true that and you see, so there's no breakup, everything's fine, everything's good? Didn't Uncle Cheech star in Debbie Does Dallas Ultra?
Well, he didn't star in it, but he was a stunt double. He was a stunt double.
That's when they had the wide angle.
He went by the name of Deke Diggler. Not Dirk. He was Deke. Deke Diggler.
Hey, man. Tape's on a different spot. Tape's on a different spot. Okay, only one. What's this? Only. There we go.
Nobody. If you did really like them both, then that's great. I mean, you're one of the very only one that I've ever met that loved both of them, and that's me included. I was not crazy about drafting a center in the first round of that draft. So if you did, man, I give you props for knowing your guys. So for sure, Mozzie. See, I'm not going to give up on Mozzie. We didn't really talk about it, but he's at like 330 now. He's got some weight back on. That's why I say with this draft, man, you got to give these guys a couple years, right? I mean, you can't call a guy a bust after 1 year. I mean, give him a couple years. If Mozzie isn't any good this year, then they're going to have to question what the hell they were doing as another Taco Charlton. He's down playing in the XFL or whatever the hell that UFL, whatever it is.
Hey, did you see? Actually, talking about Michael Penix for us. Everybody's dogging us. Again, I think it's a great pick. He's learning behind Kirk Cousins, and God forbid Cousins goes down, we have a young quarterback, and we'll see. What happens. I personally, I don't want him playing for another 2 years. I want him learning and holding the clipboard for 2 years.
Well, and they said with Penix, who was the team that they said was going to get him? That's why they did what they did. Because the thought is, hey man, why just trade down? Why would you take him there? But there was, whether it's true or not, they felt that there was someone that was trying to trade up that was going to trade up, and they felt was going to get him, so they went ahead and drafted him. They didn't want to wait. So, and if you like your guy, go get him. Right.
No, I agree with you because you never know. And taking one step back, and actually several steps back, we were talking about the NFC East. Did you see your Mike Quinn already has controversy surrounding him?
With the Washington. What do you have? What does it have? A feather on it?
It had Commanders on it, but it had like the Redskins kind of feather hanging off at the end. So yeah, he's already stirred up controversy in McMahon.
Oh man. Yeah, they'll be making a shirt of that. Which, what's even if they did, I think they should go back to the name and to the, you know, at least the logo or whatever. That's just my opinion. And if there's seriously people that are offended by it, I have yet to really see him. The only one, I'll be straight with you, and I could be dead wrong. The only people I've seen offended aren't the Indians. It's a bunch of
I
white
agree.
people.
It's
all
a
white
bunch of whiteys playing hockey ball.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because I mean, they're that team name is on Indian reservations. Because I looked it up. I did my due diligence. I studied. You know, when all this came out, I said, hey, let me find out what all this is about. And I looked it up, and I checked different you know, Indian tribes and things like that, and all that for Native Americans and stuff. Because obviously in Florida we got the Seminoles, and you got all. I mean, they're making
Miccosukee.
making a mint off of the Hard Rock. I mean, you know, they ain't doing too bad there. But you know, and I just don't know if that's true. Like, I just think you got a bunch of people that just love starting trouble, bunch of Karens, and I don't think it was this huge, you know, swell of people that were so against it. Now, if I'm wrong, then show me the evidence and I'll say I'm wrong, but I just didn't see it. I know players, we've had players that played for the Washington Redskins on the show, and they said they took pride in wearing that uniform. They took pride, and they were at, you know, Native American areas and you know, and all of that, and they all loved it. They had, you know, I don't know. So
show a little pride.
Jimmy, you're supposed to be stopping me when I go.
I know we're good. So you know what? Now talking about Dan Quinn, the problem with Maisie is Dan Quinn tried to force players into his scheme. It's a little different on defense, but remember last year we sat here and I said to you, I said, you know, when they got rid of Kellen Moore, and I said to you, I said, now maybe they make the scheme around Dak Prescott, right? The offensive scheme, and it worked out well.
But that's what McCarthy, you know, in the offense that they went. You saw kind of the slow start of the offense, but I mean, Dak had his best statistical year. I mean, second in MVP under McCarthy's offense. It's going to get better. I mean, the key is they need balance, right? I mean, Dak is not going to be the guy that's going to carry the team on his shoulders. And I've said it. I mean, we've talked about it at nauseum, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I mean, look at the running game that they had in playoff games. Look at the defense giving up, averaging well over 30 points a game. It's a collective effort. It's a collective failure by this organization from the top down. I mean, it top down is where it goes. And I played a clip. I played a video, and I encourage people to go watch it on Twitter. It was Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson, and they were talking about the characters in the 90s. You know, they're talking about the players, and they talked a lot about, you know, Kevin Gogan, who was on our show, and Nate Newton, and Charles Haley. Not just like Charles Haley obviously was a, you know, Hall of Famer, so that's probably not but he was a character. But what Aikman said is, you know, those guys, those second tier guys that maybe weren't the best players on the team, but they were the glue that held the team together. Those are the guys that they could count on. Those are the guys that made practices, you know, kind of broke that, you know, the monotony and all of that stuff with practices. I don't know if this team has that. Like, it's not, that's why I always tell you, it's not always the best players that always win. It's the best team.
That's
and you
right.
need to have that balance. You can't have a bunch of divas on your team. You got to have some dogs. You got to have the dogs that are going to do the dirty work and that are going to keep the divas in check. And I'm telling you, the triplets, don't get me wrong, the triplets were, you know, you ain't winning without the triplets, but they're not winning without those guys. And I mean, Troy Aikman talked about it with Jimmy Johnson, and I thought that was pretty telling, but it validated a lot of what a James Washington talked about on his show, or Kevin Gogan and all these guys that have won Daryl Johnston. You had to, and I don't know if we have that balance in Dallas. I don't know if we have that. Maybe with Zimmer, you're going to bring some of that mentality in. I think with Quinn, probably we all got sucked into the glam of, you know, the sacks are pretty and the turnovers are great. But when it came nut cutting time and you had to make stops and you had to be physical and you had to, you know, get it done, they didn't do that on a consistent basis. They did somewhat, but on a consistent basis, they didn't do it.
Hey, Steve, glad you're in again this week. We went into depth earlier about the season opener. Do you want to recap it, Mike, or?
No, I just was going to say I'm happy. It's a good game. It's not one I thought. This was probably one of the least games I would have thought would have been their home opener. But I do like the out of conference being the home opener. I think that's good. On the road, it's not bad home opener, because if you play the numbers, they have 9 home games this year, so that means they got 9 home games and 7 road games left. So they're a good team at home, so that makes you feel a little better if they steal. And winning on the road is stealing. So
yes,
stealing a road win is always a good thing, and I think they got a great opportunity to do that in week 1.
And what Falcon is saying, I knew we lost that Packers playoff game on the second drive, and Alexander shoved Lamb from behind. There was no response.
No response. Thank you, Falcon. Where's the fire? Where's something? Get back in his face, get a penalty, get something. I agree 100%. 100% with that.
Well, and that's what you need, right? You need that. You need fire. You need people with heart, right? You're not gonna like watching the Ranger game. After somebody ices the goalie, and there's a scrum in front. That's what you do. I don't care what sport it is.
They were physical, like Kevin Gogan. I mean, they call it. He made that comment. They called him dirty. He calls it playing to the whistle. And I do like Night at the Roxbury. I don't know about you, Jimmy. One of my favorite movies.
It is
one of my favorite movies.
So
many lines.
Yes.
So many good lines in that movie. What are you talking about?
Great.
Yes. That's what and yeah. Whoops, I hit it, Jimmy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna hit my button. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting game. What did Chris say? Cleveland having Nick Chubb back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Cleveland having Nick Chubb back. I don't know how it'll be, but still running our run.
Well, hey, don't look at our run defense as last year's run defense. I mean, we'll see. Let's just wait and see how it goes. Zimmerman is a different cat than Dan Quinn. I'll say that. Now, will it work out? That remains to be seen. But this team is going to be physical. This team is going to be. They're going to be flying to the ball. I mean, that's the kind of look at his defenses that he had in Minnesota. Look at the ones when he was with Dallas. He always had that type of defense. I mean, we'll see how it goes with the personnel that we have. But I think starting off, I think they'll start out hot.
Yes, it was SoCal. I saw that. Speaking of, and I know that, on the topic of football, I don't know if you saw, there was a, big social media thing. So this old has-been Austin Rivers basketball player basically was dogging NFL players saying, they wouldn't be able to hang in the NBA, but however, NBA players would easily go in and play in the NFL, and all hell broke loose.
Here's what I'd say. Have you seen NBA players fighting? Not the toughest guys I've seen.
What a dummy.
Not the toughest. Now, I'm not saying none of them could probably whoop my ass. I'm not saying that, but not the toughest guys that I've seen. So I don't know how good they do in the NFL.
No, it was bizarre. It was all over. They were going back and forth on social media. JJ Watt was talking and what an absurd comment. I think he's just trying to make himself relevant.
He's trying to get people to comment on the Cowboys cave like Jimmy did.
Like I did.
You fell for the trap.
They flop like a pancake in the NFL. How the hell are they going to take a hit in the NFL? Yeah, this is true. I know what you meant, Falcon. They flop in the NBA.
In the NBA, yeah. No, the toughest sport that I've seen is hockey. Because I don't know how the hell. I don't know how they skate like that and stay, balanced and hit and still stand there. I mean, I tried. You seen me, Jimmy, at the ice skate rink.
You're pretty good.
Yeah, it's not something I'd make a living doing. That's for damn sure.
Don't underestimate yourself. All right, so it's 0-0 at the end of the first period. That's the thing though. But again, getting back to what you were saying, we're talking about this football thing. But it's all about grit. It's all about standing up for your teammates and all that shit, right? That's what you do. If you're going to allow one of your teammates to get shoved or hit, especially from behind, and that's okay. You got to do some soul searching.
It sent a bad message, and as a fan, you're seeing it. It's like, that didn't give you good feeling. Didn't feel like they were into the game. I was going to look at something real quick.
Yeah.
Start signing main 3 starters. you know, everything that I've seen, and take it with a grain of salt, and everything I've read is probably the same things you guys had. They think the Dak deal and the CD deal is going to get done. What is that?
No, I was just showing them. I got
you're
the game
watching.
on the
They think
background.
the Dak deal and the CD deal is going to get done in training camp. That remains to be seen. I mean, CD is on his, they don't necessarily have to do his deal. They can always franchise him. So, but I don't know if that's the best message that it sends. You saw Jared Goff just signed 4-year extension, $212 million. That's 50. That's 50. My Broward education math, that's like 50 plus a year. These quarterbacks are going to get paid. And that's just the way it is. Now, it's a philosophy that you have to have. 170 million of that 212 is guaranteed. So the philosophy, so you got to think 4, 8, 12, 6. He's signed for at least 3 years, right? If you got that's 40 something million a year cap, whatever. So that's guaranteed. So you got to think at least 3-year deal. At 53 million per year, Goff's new contract vaults him up the charts to second. He's second behind Joe Burrow as the highest annual average salary. So take that. I mean, I know the cap and all that stuff, and take it with a grain of salt. But if you go by that, he's the second highest paid quarterback by average salary in the NFL. Nobody would believe that he's the second best quarterback worthy of it. But this is a game that they play. So the Cowboys can play that game. It's a philosophy. Do you want to, if you pay a guy that much, I mean, there's going to be sacrifices. That's what the cap is. Or you try and hit gold with like San Francisco did with Purdy, and you try and build everything around him and have him ride the ship, captain the ship, and try and get a championship out of it. Will it work? It worked for Seattle that 1 year with Russell Wilson. It remained to be seen if it works for San Francisco. Dallas had that opportunity, never did anything with it with Dak Prescott. They never built enough around while he was on his rookie deal to say go like all in and pay everything else. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And Falcon, yes, because I saw where SoCal, Bugsy, and Camel Piper and Ultra and Chris always talking about hockey being the toughest sport, kind of like what you were talking about. But Falcon's got a point. Sneaky sport for CTE, and it's showing a lot more and more in the last few years. You've seen a few guys commit suicide and stuff, and it's scary.
I mean, they take a lot of hits, and all they got is some plastic, little helmet on there, and they end up losing half their teeth and all that stuff too. So Brandon Cooks is going to have to make some plays. He did better, after that, that first 5-game stretch. But yeah, I mean, he's still, is he 30 years old? So he still should have some years left to be productive. But the receiving core is going to be questioned. Jalen Tolbert, I know my man Ultra's booty. Either one of these other young guys are going to have to come through, or you got Jake Ferguson. The ideal thing would see a Jake Ferguson Schoonmaker kind of combo, a la back in the day of, like, I hate to say the name, Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski. But if you had that two tight end, kind of set there, that would help offset some lack of depth that they have at receiver. But it was you got to wait and see what happens. But you just don't know. I mean, what they got is what they got. And Cooks did, he didn't do bad. I mean, he made some plays. The problem is, if God forbid something happened to CD, but that could be the case with a lot of teams, they're screwed. I mean, the offense ran through CD Lamb. As he went, the team went, and they can't have that as their, all in kind of mentality. Is everything, CD's bad, they're going to lose. So.
Yeah, and Chris, to your point, I got a lot of family in Massachusetts, in the New England area, and hearing them talk shit all that time about the Patriots, it got old real fast. Really got old in the Super Bowl for me. But you got sick of hearing about it every year. But there again, Tom Brady, he was supposed to be, who was he, right?
No, you just don't know. I mean, you don't know, but I mean, they're going to be quiet now. I mean, the Patriots haven't had a lot to cheer about in a while. So
But Brady coming out, there was nothing to be. Nobody expected that. Remember, they had Drew Bledsoe. That was their quarterback.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
SoCal 28-3. I appreciate that, SoCal. Thanks for the reminder.
Why do we got to do? Jimmy had a bad Sunday, and you guys got to go for the low blows. You got to go
exactly. Not a good blow either. Yeah. Tolbert is all pro waiting.
I hope so. That's a big statement, Johnny. That's a big statement. I hope you're right. I don't know if that's true, but
well, so what I wanted to do quick. And, obviously Cowboys or football talk, just jump in with comments. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about my picks last week. So I said Denver Nuggets in 7.
Denver Nuggets, you said in 7?
I said that. They were down 0-2 in the middle of the week. Now it's tied 2-2.
Wow. Wait a minute. Is this against Minnesota?
Yes, Minnesota.
Because I know our one of the family members in the Cowboys cave said that Minnesota is probably going to beat them in 6 or 5 the way that they were playing. I know Kelly might have a comment about that.
2-2, and I know that Kelly was one, but he made some very valid points. Right. I said Dallas in 7, they're up 2-1. I said the Knicks in 5 or 6. Obviously, it ain't gonna be 5 now, and now I'm worried it might be 7, or not at all because of the injuries, but we'll see. And Celtics in 6, they're up 2-1. All right, so. Spot on right there.
Well,
Hockey.
Jimmy, he's the resident expert of when it comes to NBA talk.
Joker is far and away. I don't care what Shaq said to him in the middle of that game last week. Called him out saying, you shouldn't have been. I
think he said that about? And then I saw Shannon Sharp and Shaq have gotten into a little bit of a rift.
They did because Shaq basically said, congratulations, but I think SGA should have been the MVP, but to his face. I mean, look, I love Shaq, but I thought that was a bad move. Shannon Sharp comes back and says, who are you to call him out? That was ridiculous. So Shaq says to Shannon Sharp, he says, who are you to talk? You weren't even one of the 10 best in your position in the history of your league. Yeah. So, it got a little heated back and forth. But I think that was stupid of Shaq to say something like that, unless you just
I don't know why. I mean, what's the purpose of even doing that? But you got the guys getting his award. I mean, why would you,
Right, and you're interviewing him just after, he got it, and you're interviewing, the middle of I think it was the middle of the Knicks game last week.
And I love Shaq. Let's just be honest. I love Shaq.
I do too.
You can play the Shaq game. Go scroll through every channel on your TV. And see if you can go all the way through without seeing a Shaq commercial or seeing him on something.
So Chris, Celtics in 5, wow. Ultra, Pacers in 6. And I do worry, Ultra. And we got injuries. Like I said, I'm not going to make excuses, but I kind of like what Chris is saying. Knicks in 7. I'll go for that one.
Knicks. Now that'd be in New York, right?
Yeah, we'd have home court at the end. Bugsy, Shannon Sharp is right. I agree with Bugsy on that one. So. Let's go to Rangers fixing. No, we ain't fixing to choke on nothing. We fixing to win tonight. And guess what? Mark's going to owe me my fitted hat. My Rangers take care of our business. So Stars in 6, Canes in 7, Florida in 4. Yeah, Florida's a team that scares me. So hockey, I said the Rangers. I didn't call games. I just said who would win the series. I didn't say how many games. Yeah. I said Rangers would take their series. They're up 3-1. Florida would take their series. They're up 3-1. I said the Stars would take Dallas would take their series. I was right. I mean, they blew a big lead in that first game, but they're up 2-1. And I did not make a call on the Vancouver Edmonton series, so I'm not going to pretend like I did. For some reason, that didn't come up, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Oilers are probably. I think the Oilers will take it. Do they make fitted hats in toddler size?
Are we having any? Is there anything going on in the chat I'm missing? Are we having any inner fights? In a chat or
no? We were earlier.
What's he saying? Fitted hats on toddler size. What did I miss?
Well, no, that's because of me. Because when I was running my mouth about Mark and owe me a fitted hat when my Rangers beat his Hurricane, so that's okay.
Okay.
I can take some trash talking. It's okay. Canes in 7. Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a great player, Ultra. Yes, but not better than the Joker.
So, Jimmy, are we locked in on the Atlanta game no matter what, or is there some, or do we potentially could have some snafus. I want to know when the schedule comes out. I need to know if it's going to be possible snafus on any dates. Yeah, let's get it out in the open.
There's two.
That way we don't say you're ducking. That's it.
No. There's two potential conflicts, and that would be, I think it's like November 1st weekend. I think it is November 2nd, whatever weekend that is, and then Thanksgiving.
It's not going to be Thanksgiving because
I mean Thanksgiving weekend.
It won't be Thanksgiving because we play on Thanksgiving.
Okay, right. Okay, you know what? Right. So it won't be either one of those 2 Sundays.
So it's just one. Well, the only date that we cannot have fall in is the first weekend in November. That's the bad day.
So right, the Cowboys wouldn't play on either Sunday on Thanksgiving week.
No,
right?
no.
Good. Okay, good. So then it would be ATL homies. Cuts knows what he's talking about. I like Jimmy, but no one else is allowed to joke with him. If they do, we fight them, even if it's 28-3. I appreciate that.
So that weekend, so when the Wednesday live show, we're going to have the schedule release. We're going to go through everything. If that game falls on the first weekend in November, that's a potential problem for Jimmy Dee. So he's not a coward. We want to make sure, get it out of. He's not a coward for not showing up. We'll still be there. I will be there. I'm going to be at the game no matter what, unless it's on Christmas Day or something like that, which I don't think will happen. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So
yeah, no, hopefully that's not the case. And honestly, I'm hoping it'd be nice if it's earlier. Like, autumn would be perfect. Like
that's what I said. Mid-November, maybe late October, something like that, where it's not as hot. We can tailgate a little bit because it gets hot. Atlanta's going to be, you do that in September. It's going to be hot. I said the perfect scenario for me is if at Atlanta, at Carolina, back to back. Could not ask for a better scenario. So that's where I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And because I'll make a nice week out of it, and that would be nice. That would be nice.
No, it'd be perfect. You know what? Hopefully they're listening to the cave and they're making sure they make this schedule based around Mike Tag. That's what needs to be done.
That's what we got to do. And I got to make sure the cave is represented. And then we got our tailgate party. So we know we're not going to be the season opener, right? Because they're on the road, but we got to see who they play the home opener. You got to think if I'm a betting man, they're going to go big on Sunday. That week 2 is going to be Sunday night at AT&T. My prediction is Baltimore or Philly. That's my prediction.
And likely, I think that they would do well. Then you'd be playing AFC teams 2 weeks in a row.
They do it. They've done it. I've seen it a million times. They did it to us early one year where we played two teams in a row. That I think it was AFC East teams. I think it was the Dolphins. It might have been the Jets and the Dolphins. It was I don't know. But I remember. But anyway, so
yeah. So it's going to be fun. See, now that's the thing. I'd love to make both the Cowboys the cave tailgate down at AT&T and the game down.
We just I know with you, we got to get some time, right? We got to get a little. There's got to be some time in between because you're a businessman. You're handling business.
All family business.
So hopefully we'll have that generated with a little bit of time. But hey, guys, make sure again if you're on Instagram, we can't see you. We can't see your comments. We can't see anything. So you definitely got to come over in the future. Make sure you come over to YouTube, and then we can get you on here. Because, again, we love the chats. We love interacting. So we definitely love the support on Instagram, but we can't really see you. So I don't want you to feel like we're ignoring you if you're leaving a comment or anything like that. And then, again, on Twitter, we get a lot of views on Twitter. We get a lot of love on Twitter, and I love that. That's my home. But the best way to support the channel is to slide on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe, and then you can join the chat. We can see you, and you can do all that kind of fun stuff, right, Jimmy?
Absolutely. We got Camel Piper and SoCal Marines. Both thank you for your service. I know we have other armed forces members in Ultra. That's right. Yeah. So Chris, we appreciate you guys. Whoops, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, I got excited.
You guys make it fun for us. So. We love coming out here. What time is that on Wednesday?
It's going to be 8:00, and I mean, Jimmy, definitely pop in if you're around. I know Mikey Schefter's going to be around. Eugene Lockhart might be popping in. Kelly obviously will be hanging, so it works out well. My daughter's cheering or first. She's still a junior, but it's like their whatever spring game.
Yeah.
She's got that Thursday, so really. The football gods were looking over me, and they said, all right, we're going to set this up, schedule release on Wednesday. You don't miss any game. You don't miss the schedule release. Everything works out well. So yeah, I couldn't ask for a better thing. So definitely, guys, tune in. We'd love to have some people join the video. You join on camera with us, or we'll have the phone lines open. So we'd love to get you guys to participate. So definitely come hang out with the Cowboys Cave crew. Kelly and I, Jimmy, if he pops in, Eugene, if he decides to hang out, it's kind of slow time, but I reached out to him to say, hey, we're doing this stuff. So maybe he'll pop in as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. So we said 8:00 Wednesday, looking forward to it. all the armed forces members, veterans, and that are having a good time in the chat. And then again, when you're not on YouTube, you can't see all this in the chat. You're missing a lot of the fun. So that's why you got to come over and watch us on YouTube.
Yeah. So anyway, I know you got some big night, Jimmy.
Yes.
So we said we go an hour. We're an hour. Definitely appreciate all the love in the chat. Thank you, everybody. So many names I don't want to miss one, but all you guys know you are. Appreciate all the support. The hype video, I got a lot of surprises. It's going to be good. I've been thinking it through. I've been studying. I've been getting everything together. I may even drop a pre-hype video before, maybe after the schedule. The full schedule comes out, maybe do something if I'm feeling up to it. I got to be feeling in the groove, but I got some good stuff planned for week 1. So now that we know the opponent, we get everything together. So we're going to be fun.
Going to set everything straight.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys have a good one. Jimmy, good luck to the Rangers. Everyone else, have a great evening. Thanks for hanging with us for an hour. We appreciate it. Hit that like button on your way out do your boys a favor. You guys take care. We'll see you Wednesday.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need